For those of you who have just joined us after closed session, I'm Maria Haug, Board Vice President, and I would like to introduce my fellow trustees, Lisa Pelosi and Julio Olguin. I also want to introduce our district staff, Dr. Mallory Lou Wilson, our superintendent, Miss Andy Stubbs, our chief business official, our chief academic human resources officer, Mr. Christopher Heller, and executive assistant to the superintendent and governing board, Miss Erica Madrigal. We are delighted that you're here this evening, today in person or viewing on Channel 27, our YouTube channel. A copy of the board meeting video will also be available on our website. In connection with items A and B, the board received information and provided the staff with direction. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment at board meetings. At this time, members of the public are entitled to speak on matters not on the agenda. You are requested to keep your comments concise, brief, and limited to 3 minutes. We're already, we've already stated this before we went into closed session, so we'll just, it's there for your reading. So we're on to subject human resources. Number A, review and request for approval of AB 1200 public disclosure documents associated with a tentative agreement between SHTA and SHUSD.
Thank you. And these particular documents are required for the board's review and consideration of approval because what they do is they disclose for the public the cost of the tentative agreement. And so it describes here on these pages the cost of 1% and so forth, and the cost of the agreement, which is 4% ongoing, applied to all salary and stipend schedules for 1920, 4% in 2021, and then 3% in 21-22. And then the documents also call for the identification of any additional costs as a result of the agreement, and we do have a very small cost that's included going from we have a middle school counselor who's currently on a 196-day work calendar, and we are changing that to a one-day calendar because that counselor is responsible for developing the master schedule, and the additional days are required to serve students. Mr. Heller, did you want to include anything else about that particular?
I do not.
Thank you. And so then the documents require a multi-year projection to show the impact of the increased cost. And so I pulled that out separately for your review. Now this multi-year projection comes from the June original budget adoption, and so you'll see that we have a deficit showing in each of the 3 years and a deficit that grows because of the increased compensation, but we are closed with this approval, ratification, and then approval of this tentative agreement. We will be closed with no reopeners for the 3 years, and I anticipate that when property taxes come in December, and you see the multi-year projection the first year, the first interim budget report, then you will see that deficit for the current year mitigated mostly, if not completely. And then in the subsequent years, I anticipate that property taxes will be sufficient to absorb this increase. And so with that, I would ask the board to approve the AB 1200 disclosure documents.
Is there anyone present who wishes to publicly comment on this agenda item? Do the trustees have any further questions about this agenda item?
No, I just, as always, thank you for all the clear documentation you provide us. Very much appreciated.
Is there a motion to approve AB 1200 public disclosure documents associated with a tentative agreement between SHTA and SHUSD as presented?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carried. It is. It is. Well, that one's a good one to do it too. And subject B, consideration of approval of the collective bargaining agreement, tentative agreement with SHTA for the period of July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2022. And I'd like to call in Mr. Christopher Heller.
Yes, thank you. So as the board is aware, we began negotiations with SHTA in March of this year and have had several opportunities to negotiate and work with SHTA on several articles to clarify language and to add new language that is proposed tonight. Some of the highlights that I'd like to share with the board and the community are changes to Article 7 within leaves, and Article 9 in evaluations, which was an extremely collaborative process to create an evaluation article that teachers and administration both value in the work that will be performed by our teachers. And also some changes in Article 12 and hours of work to add some student-centered activities. I'd like to thank all the teams that participated, SHTA membership, and Andy and Ben Cento, high school principal. As the lead negotiator in my first time through, I felt the process was extremely collaborative and productive. I felt that everybody's points of view were heard, and while we disagreed at times, we always had an understanding of perspective, so I felt that the whole process went very well. One final note is that there was a small revision in all the work that we've done. There was a error on page 25 in the last stipend of the early childhood educator reflected an amount there in bold of $3,039 when it should be $3,160, as the other 4% are along the way. So I apologize for that. So I would ask for your consideration of approval of this tentative agreement.
Is there anyone present who wishes to publicly comment on this agenda item?
Yes, thank you. Brandon Farrell, SHTA President. Mr. Heller asked me to run, so I'm glad I'm not going on workman's comp with a blown hamstring. So we made it, though. Thank you to the board for coming in this morning and, allowing our agreement to get ratified. It's important for our teachers. Just saying a few things about the process. I want to reiterate what Mr. Heller was saying. Our process was collaborative from the get-go. We had a team of Mark Lulsdorf and Angie Bond and myself, and then working with the district team. And as Mr. Heller already indicated, we had our interests and we held strong to each team's interests, but we always saw the other team's point of view, quite often. I think it's, commending everyone in that room on a collaborative process is not always easy, and you can see in other districts that they don't have such an easy time, and we're grateful of the place that we're in for that reason, and we're grateful working with the district and the board to create an agreement that everybody in our organization really enjoys and really appreciates. So we want to appreciate Mr. Heller and his team, Dr. Wilson, and all the district leadership and the site principals and all of the people that work on their side. And we also want to thank the board and the community for supporting our teachers. And that's the most important thing, as we feel like the most important resource that the kids have is our teachers in the classroom. So with that said, I'd like to get back to my first day of classes. But I really do want to thank all of you on behalf of the SHTA.
Thank you, Brandon. Do the trustees have any questions on this agenda item?
No questions. Just congratulations to everybody, and it's a great start to the school year.
I'm
Julio?
good. Yeah, ditto on that. Just thank you to everyone that participated, and just this is my first negotiation as well, and we obviously weren't there, but as far as the communication from both sides was very positive, so appreciate it.
And I will just say, I think I would like to echo what Brandon just said. We have beautiful facilities here, but our most important resource is our teaching staff, and I really appreciate every single one of them coming to school and leading our children to success, and students. So, because some of them don't think they're children anymore. Anyway, I would really like to say thank you to all the negotiating teams. And is there a motion to approve the collective bargaining tentative agreement with SHTA for the period of July 21st, 2019 to June 30, 2022, as presented?
I'll make that motion.
All second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Vice President Haug, may I request a new motion that you said July 21st when it should be July 1st on that agreement?
I do apologize. Is there a motion to approve the collective bargaining tentative agreement with SHTA for the period of July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2022 as presented?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion carried. Thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn today's meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say no. Motion carried. The meeting ended at 10:33.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you for all your time.